developed by David Sandler, the founder of Sandler Training. I will give you a better process to follow that is based on those principles, a process that works. I call it the Goal-Setting Boot Camp. This intensive multi-day process is all about identifying what matters most to you as an individual and working from there to create successful outcomes in all aspects of your life, including financial goals, career goals, and company goals. I mention this because many people fall into the trap of starting with their business goals. They want to make more money, sell more, and grow their companies more, and they try to set goals in those areas. This is the first and most common mistake when it comes to goal setting. It may well be one of the reasons that goal setting hasn't worked for you in the past. It's far better to start off with what you want your life as a whole to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, and in retirement. If you figure that out first, and then figure out what you need your business or your career to do for you in order to achieve those goals, that's where true motivation comes from. And that's where this book starts. The big idea behind this book and a suggestion on how to use it. I've just shared with you this book's big idea, namely, that effective goal setting starts in the personal realm and moves outward from there. I'll be sharing variations on this important point throughout the book, but I wanted you to know up front that this deceptively simple-sounding idea is the engine that drives everything in this book. I want you to know what you're getting into and what's going to be important if you are to put these ideas into practice. You may need to spend a little time figuring out what is most important to you as a person. A side note, you don't have to do this alone. You can do this program in partnership with your significant other or an accountability partner. Whoever you choose, I would recommend working with someone who opts to do the exercises at the same time you do. You will learn a lot about each other's dreams, aspirations, and motivations. This is the best way to implement what follows. If you can execute the activities laid out in this book in collaboration with someone else, ideally with your life partner, I would strongly recommend you find a way to do so. With both of you completing the daily activities and sharing your work along the way, there is a much higher likelihood of success. Of course, if you prefer to do the program on your own, you can certainly do that and get good results. The Art of Getting to the Top of the Mountain. About 12 years ago, I joined my friend Fred on a trip to Africa. Our goal was to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in celebration of his 50th birthday. The obstacles we faced were many and complex. It's an expensive trip. There were a lot of administrative and logistical issues that needed to be taken care of: passports, lodging, travel, and so on. Of course, all kinds of training and preparation was needed to make the ascent possible. It was the tallest peak either of us had ever attempted to scale. This is a polite way of saying that I needed to get my sorry rear end into shape before we went. Last but not least, I needed to take 2 weeks off of work and make sure that my clients would be cared for during a period when they absolutely, positively would not be able to reach me. Cell phone coverage at the top of Kilimanjaro is non-existent. The strategies in this book are the same strategies I used when I first decided to embrace and take action on the goal that Fred proposed: climbing Kilimanjaro. Now, I won't lie to you, we had some difficulties on the mountain, but we did it. We made it to the top, and we made it back down safely. Today, more than a decade after the fact, I still have no words to express what it felt like to reach that summit with Fred. I experience a profound internal sense of joy every time I think about it. It makes me feel so good knowing that I set a goal, overcame obstacles, and accomplished what I honestly did not imagine I had it in me to do when Fred first suggested this trip. Scaling Kilimanjaro convinced me that I can achieve anything truly important to me with the right amount of planning and dedication. You can, too. While the goal of reaching the peak of the highest single freestanding mountain in the world was, for reasons I will make clear later on in the book, important to me on a personal level, it's probably not important to you in the same way. However,